Hi everyone, this is Elena of the Witches Box, and I'm here today with another episode of BookTube. And today we're going to be talking about another book on ancestral work, which is called Honoring Your Ancestors, A Guide to Ancestral Veneration by Mallorie Vaudoise. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. If not, no disrespect intended, but this is the book. I would say it took me about 2 hours, 2-ish hours to read. It's an easy read, a lot of information. I really enjoyed it. Let me read to you her bio and then I'll go into the book review. Mallorie Vaudoise is a spiritualist, folk Catholic, and witch of Italian descent based in New York City. Her blog, Italian Folk Magic, is one of the most popular English language resources on the topic. Mallorie is an initiated Orisha priestess, and an apprentice in the ecstatic music and dance traditions of her ancestors. Visit Mallorie online at www.roadsideomens.com. This book, first and foremost, right off the bat, it is in contrast to the book that I reviewed last time, which was also titled something along the lines of Honoring Your Ancestors, I think a Basic Guide by Galina Graskova, who was an identified heathen polytheist. And she spoke a lot. Remember we talked about how intense it was, that chapter where she talked about working or not working with ancestors who decided to make the choice to deviate or to convert from their polytheistic indigenous religion and spirituality to that of a monotheistic or Abrahamic or Christian tradition. This is not that book. This doesn't have anything related to that whatsoever, and it is what I would deem much more accessible for people who are still very deeply tied into that part of their lineage and their ancestral history. What this book did emphasize more of, which I think is incredibly important and another aspect of the power of ancestral work, is dealing with ancestral trauma. So what I want to do really quickly is go through the table of contents to give you an idea of what this book covers, because I also felt that this book was thorough and it fleshed a couple of more details out when it came to specifics around working with your ancestors, much more so than the book that we read and talked about a couple of days ago. But let me read you the table of contents so that you have an idea. So chapter 1 is Who Are the Ancestors? Chapter 2, Healing Ancestral Trauma. Chapter 3, Building Your Ancestral Altar. Chapter 4, Making Offerings to Your Ancestors. Chapter 5, Praying to and for Your Ancestors. Chapter 6, Spiritual Hygiene. Chapter 7, Mediumship for Everyone. Chapter 8, Going Deeper with Mediumship. Chapter 9, Herbal Allies for Ancestral Veneration. Chapter 10, Calling on Ancestral Power. Chapter 11, A Selection of Spells. And then the conclusion, which is called Remembering the Future. And there is a good-sized bibliography in the back. Right off the bat, I give this a 4-star as well. Very well researched. It's got a lot of great references, really great information, and tips and tricks on, and really I think that tips and tricks is actually to minimize it. A lot of really great information on cultivating your capacity for communicating with your ancestors, which I think is really helpful. And it demystifies this notion of mediumship, so that for those of you out there who feel like you don't have psychic abilities, you don't have mediumship abilities, you don't really have any clue on your capacity to be able to kind of cross that veil and have communication with beings or spirits or ancestors who are on the other side, so to speak. She talks to that, or she speaks to that, and she gives you exercises and meditations and things to help hone that part of you. Very, very helpful. And like I said in the beginning, what I really appreciated about this book is the addressing healing ancestral trauma, as things like that are passed down. We are the result of every single generation that has been born before us. We are another emanation of our particular line, and those things are epigenetic. They are part of our being and our understanding of the world. They are part of the way we respond or react to the world, even if we have absolutely zero consciousness about past traumas that may have influenced our line. Those things are still there. And so she speaks to the importance of working through that, helping your ancestors move beyond that in a way that then sort of reverberates forward and backwards throughout our entire line. It's really important spiritual work, and I think that she covered it in a really beautifully concise and easy to understand way. I love that. I think that that's really important, and I'm hoping that other books speak to this as well, because I think more than anything, I think it's an important aspect of ancestral work in terms of our global healing. The more of this work that we do, I think the more the effects of this work actually affect everyone involved. And one of the things that this reminds me of is in the other book that I reviewed last time by Elena Rego, is in the very, very beginning, one of her points that she says she's trying to make with this book and with all of her ancestral work is that in order for us to heal from all the things that are ailing us now, it's going to take everyone. It's going to take everyone who's alive now and everyone who was alive back in the day, right? So that it's this joint effort on both sides of the veil to help create change and healing and liberation in a way that we really, really need right now. And that really stuck with me, because I really think that when it comes to ancestral healing of trauma, that is very much true. It's going to take both sides. So I really loved that it tied in for me that way. The one thing I do want to share about this book is that she's coming from a much more spiritual and religiously inclusive perspective. So for those of you who really had a hard time with last week's book, or the last book that I shared with you, this will be a little easier in that way. Easier in the sense that if you needed to feel included, it will absolutely provide that for you. And if you're not really looking for right now a very harsh reality about conversion and colonialism and what Elena Rego characterized as a deep betrayal of who you were at the very beginning of your ancestral line, which can be very intense to look at. This book is not going to look at it that way. It's not going to put that point forth. So I do recommend it. I think that it adds to what we read last time, or what I read last time and shared with you. Very easy to read. Her writing is fantastic. She's very clear, very effective in what she's trying to communicate, and she covers so much. When we got to the chapter on suggested spells, I need to get over myself, honestly, because I thought, I don't want to read a chapter on a bunch of spells. But what I would say to you is this, that the chapter on spells is short. It's not an extensive 5,000 random different spells. It's not that at all. What I really enjoyed about these spells were their simplicity and how it gave you even further ideas about what working with your ancestors might look like in terms of your day-to-day needs and your day-to-day very real, very alive, very human, and very contemporary issues that may come up in your life. And I like that because it gives you a window of what, and this sounds so not spiritual, so very concrete, but what the applicable benefits of having an ancestral focused spirituality might look like for you on the day-to-day when asking for help on things that may normally be something that you just cast a spell for. So I really, really appreciated that. And I, again, got over myself and went through the chapter and I read it and it was great. So here it is. Love it. Honoring Your Ancestors, A Guide to Ancestral Veneration by Mallorie Vaudoise. If I'm misspelling or mispronouncing your name, so sorry, but there it is. Great book. I give it a 4 stars on Goodreads. Highly recommend it. And I'm looking forward to the others. I have, I think, 3 more books left. No, I think it's actually, I have 4 more books on ancestral work left, and we're going to continue to cover those through the month of October, since our October box is all about ancestral work. For those of you who are still kind of chomping at the bit, although maybe not all of you are, maybe many of you are not, because I have been on my Anush Leonta kick for now a couple of months. We're obviously taking a break from those books, and I'll probably pick them up again sometime in November and go on from there. Where I'm kind of almost quasi-done with those books. In any case, for now we're going to be talking about books on ancestor work and a couple of dark moon work books that I've got. I think I showed you those books in the witch book haul that I did a couple of videos ago. Go check that out. That was a huge, huge witchy book haul. So there's that. Announcements. As you must know, please know that we now have a Witches Book subscription service that's $30 a month. You get 2 intermediate to advanced witchcraft books a month mailed to you. That also gives you access to what I'm now calling the Witches Book Coven, where we have a private forum where we can talk about the books and share our work that we're learning from the book with one another to create community that way. And then we're also, along with that, those two things, you also get to participate in the live once a month online gathering where we will talk about the book, kind of share with one another. I want us to have more opportunities to connect with one another in this space in a way that's safe, that's private, but that is also very deeply focused on witchcraft. So the book subscription comes with that. And on occasion, when I can wrangle an author, we'll have an author come visit and we can do Q&As with the author about the books that we read, that they wrote, and their own personal path in witchcraft, and just learn and talk and connect, and I'm so excited. So links to that book subscription is down below. We also, as you know, have the Witches Box, which is an amazing product as well, which I love because you get rituals and spells in the mail that we then work with together. And we also have a once a month live deep dive gathering that we participate with that box. So those links are down below. Yeah, please make sure to subscribe, ring the bell so that you're notified of whenever something new pops up. And at the time of this video going live, if I'm not mistaken, I think that we already have a book giveaway going on. Every Sabbath we do a book giveaway because I collect a lot of books. I'm getting a lot of books mailed to me, and we'll send out 4 to 5 free books to whoever wins the giveaway raffle / game. And I release that information, like I release the whole giveaway moment a week before each Sabbath. So I think that by the time this video goes live, that video is out there as well. So check it out, do what you gotta do to win, and you too can get free witchy books, which I'm really excited to give out. That's it for today. Hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful September, and we'll talk again. Bye.